Hi everyone, welcome to today's session. When teachers and parents work together, children thrive. So our topic today is parent-teacher collaboration. How do they come together? That's what we're looking at today. So come along with me. Every child's growth does not happen in isolation. It's shaped by both, in this case, the teacher and the parents. So my name is Olorundamilola Onomusi. Here today, we are going to be exploring the power of teacher-parent collaboration. We're going to be looking at how these two affect, the emotion, the behavior, and the way our children learn. We're going to look at them. How do these help the child thrive? That's what we're going to be looking at. And then we will talk about why is it important that these two, they collaborate? How lack of alignment affects the child? We'll look at that too. We'll look at the role, each adult plays in the life of this child, in supporting them. We want to look at that. And simply, again, want to look at what are those simple things they can do to help resolve whatever problem emanates from them working as individuals and not together. Those are the things we're going to be looking at. And we're going to tell stories. Another story today. Yes, we will go that direction. And the title of today's story is Two Voices, One Child. Two voices, one child. But we're paying particular attention to the two voices. The child is central, so the two voices cannot, come into being in this case without the child being there. So I'm going to read it to us. And the name of our character today is Hassan. Hassan is a 5-year-old child. So you see, he's grown. He can say things, he can do things by himself. He has a measure of independence. And so let's go to the story. Hassan is bright, curious, and full of energy. But lately something has changed. At school, Hassan struggles to sit. He interrupts, he gets easily frustrated, and sometimes he refuses to follow instructions. His teacher became concerned. And I want you to pay attention to that. His teacher became concerned. What does that tell you? He's coming from somewhere. He's now in another place. And that person is having, some concern about him. So she says, Hassan is becoming difficult. He is not listening. At home, Hassan's parents see something different. You see, the teacher is concerned at school. At home, the parents are seeing something different. They see a child who is playful, expressive, full of ideas. They are educators. Are you familiar with this? You should be. Playway. Once you come in a playway, children would learn first. They will do a lot of things because play is involved. These are what the parents see at home, and so they're fine with it. And they say, that's just how he is. He is a strong child. So, two messages begin to form. That of the teacher and that of the parents. At school, Hassan is difficult. At home, Hassan is fine. I hope you're following. And in the middle of these two voices is Hassan. Only him, only him. Each day, Hassan goes to school where he is corrected, redirected, and sometimes misunderstood. Then he comes home where his behavior is overlooked and even excused. Take note. At home, his behavior is overlooked and sometimes they even make excuses for him. No one is talking to each other. You know, these people we're talking about, the teacher and the parents, they're not talking to each other. They're not hearing each other's voices. Only Hassan is hearing the two voices. Nobody is even hearing Hassan's voice. So, the teacher does not fully understand Hassan. The parents do not fully understand Hassan's school. They understand their child because they're fine as far as they're concerned, but the school where Hassan goes, they don't seem to understand. But Hassan is experiencing both. Just like I said, he begins to feel confused, frustrated, unsettled. And you know what that means? Slowly, some things will begin to happen. His behavior becomes louder, not because he is a problem. He's not a problem. Hassan is not. Because no one aligns. The teacher, the parents, they're not aligning. They're not together. The truth is, when adults align, so many things will go right. The child in question, Hassan, would have found everything just working out smoothly. You understand? But because those things are not aligning, the ideas from the two sets of people, he runs into a measure of problems, and we'll talk about them as we go on. So I want to ask, are we working together for the child or unintentionally working against each other? The parent, the teacher, the child is in the middle. So that's the end of the story. And we can see the dilemma in which Hassan found himself. But that's Hassan. But we have so many Hassans from the age of 3 to 5 who may have experienced this, or are experiencing it, or are about to experience it. And that is where you come in. You come in because if it is you that is affected, then you should begin to see your child in the eyes of Hassan. Let's bring this closer home. The teacher and the parent are not aligning. And so what do you think will be happening to Hassan? Hassan again means the 3 to 5 year old. Hassan in this story is 5 years, but you can have them between the 3 and 5 years old. What do you think will be happening? They're receiving mixed messages. A message from the house, another one from school. What does that do to them? It makes them very uncertain. It will put them in a state where they will struggle. Because when you leave one place, even as an adult, and get to a new place, you tend to adjust, readjust. But in this case, these are children. And to do it, they don't know, they're just trying. So their trying will not become a struggle to adjust. This will not be funny. I personally pity Hassan. I think this is unfair on him. I think he's just been exposed to too much. He is the one hearing the two voices. He is the one figuring out which one should I listen to, which one should I not listen to. He is the one saying to himself, you know what, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I feel this, I feel that. His emotion, his behavior, everything are being put to test. And he had no idea of what to do. He doesn't have any idea of what to do. This is not fair on him. And that is the same feeling you should see your child having or feeling right now. If you see your child in that situation, that is the feeling going on inside of that child. And that is what you should try to fix. When you fix it, you have supported him or her. Please, let's do this together to make that child come out, best. But again, the focus is on the teacher and the parent. That's where we're focusing on. We just cannot do without talking about the child. That's why you see me come. And you know I'm passionate about them. So I would have, this tendency of, dwelling on them. But just forgive me for this period. And so I want us to look at, what collaboration does and why it's so important. It is important because when these two finally agree to come together, that child's struggling will stop. His confusion will stop. Her uncertainty would stop. And that will put them in good stead. Let me ask you, when the voices around the child become one, what do you think will happen? They will become very secure. So please, it is important that there is a collaboration. That is why it is important. Now let's move on a little bit. Also now looking at the children between the ages of 3 and 5 as Hassan. They are the Hassans I'm talking to now or referring to. They are living between two voices, two ideas, and it's affecting them. To resolve this, you have to think of what to do. Think about how to, be consistent. They need consistency. Be consistent at what you're doing. That is the two of you collaborating together. How you're going to do that, you need to figure out. And can this happen if there's no conversation? It won't happen. But that's what the child wants. He doesn't know what is going to happen, but he's saying, please do something. Do something. So that at home and at school, everybody is getting on, well. They're both thinking about the Hassan in question, and Hassan is feeling good. He's been able to do what he's sent to school to do. Okay, so we begin to ask ourselves, so many questions. What do I do? How do I go about it? And you prevent the boy who is not speaking out at this time because he doesn't have the right words to also concentrate on why he or she is in school. Secondly, take away these mixed messages that we're giving him or her. Help them. How do you do that? You help by looking out, what can I do? What can the teacher do, parent do? Collaboration, again, is what I'm making reference to now, to make this child not be seeing the two of you as two, but see you as one, and not receiving two messages or receiving one straight message. So when that is done, he does not act out, no tantrums, no frustration, no confusion, no resistance to even instruction. The teacher said it, that he's not even heeding to instructions given in class. And that's not good. And meanwhile, the child is just doing what he's feeling. Okay? And so emotion is another one. That one cuts across. It cuts across. Please keep them secure. Don't make them feel misunderstood. Don't make them feel uncertain like we've been talking about. And then if all of these are kept intact, they will be able to learn and learn well. So when you're telling the child, sit down, we're going to write, the child will be eager to write, feeling very happy and doing it very, very well. It is important again for me to tell you to collaborate. It is about these two adults, these two voices. When you do what you need to do, honestly, everything about this child will just go smoothly. So for the parents and teacher, to make this thing work, this collaboration of a thing, which is very important at this stage, I need to encourage you to do this. Please begin to communicate. Start small. Start somehow. Talk to each other. Do this regularly. Share observations about this child. Your conversation has started. Observations. What you observe in school, what they observe at home. Come together, discuss it. Discuss what are your expectations about this child, both in school, at home, and combined. There must be a meeting point, because the child will be in school for a while and then go back home. When he goes back home or she goes back home, Are they supposed to go back to the normal? There must be something you can do to bring these things together. It's very, very important. They must align and they must support each other. It is very important that they support each other. When that is done, the child can make progress. Okay, so supporting each other, like I mentioned, is the answer to all of this. Not blame each other, because blaming each other, this thing comes very, is a teacher. Teacher does not like my child. The teacher, in fact, let me tell you, my child does not like coming to school. He goes, whenever you say school, the mood changes. Please make the mood change to the right thing, because that child needs to go to school. If not, you'll be shortchanging yourself. And me, I'm particular about that child. You will not be doing that child any good. And that child, because the child does not know, will just feel, okay, at least when I'm at home, everything he does at home is okay. So the child feels today is holiday and then stays back at home. No. Please, parents, I'm going to pause here and talk to us. I am a parent. You see, that teacher that teaches your child, do everything you can to make them friends. We're talking about you collaborating with the teacher. The business you have is make that teacher give what your child needs in school. You paid for it. It didn't come cheap. So you're not begging. It is your right, but you have a role to play. That role is make sure that teacher is your child's friend, is your own friend. That does not mean that when you see something going on wrong, you should not talk about it. A lot of us, from my experience, will run to the office and then you go there. They must tell that teacher to go away, sack the teacher. If the teacher goes, your child is still there with that problem. That teacher will go somewhere else and get employment. If you don't value your teacher, there will be a problem with your child. This is hard truth. We do not want to hear, well, I'm retired, I'm not tired, but I see this as a major problem that you, mother especially, father, me, we need to fix. We can handle it in a good way such that the teacher will do the job he or she is being paid for. I'm not saying give gifts. That is another thing. If it comes, let it come when it's supposed to come, not buy them over to be giving your child what your child did not work for or deserve. There is an issue. Collaborate. You must work together. That's the thing there. What you are, what the teacher is not a thing to discuss. It is that your child gets what he or she is in school for. Support that child throughout. Please avoid blaming. You did this, and let me give you this. From my experience, if you have a child in any class and your child you have a problem, or you have a challenge, or you have something you just need to figure out, please talk to your teacher, the teacher of your child. Because if you go to the office first to report, the person in the office, the head of school, is not going to tell you what exactly happened in class, except he or she calls on the teacher, who is his or her representative. That is the person that carries the eye of the head of school. So he or she will have to listen to the teacher. So why not go straight to the teacher and just talk about your child? And okay, what do we do about this? You're collaborating. This is my observation. Oh, is that what you saw? Okay, at home, it's candidly not like that, but okay, now I get this information. We'll go home and talk about it. Talking with your children is another way out. Don't just find out who beat you today, who shouted at you. Did your teacher shout at you? Some of us, this is what we ask. It's irrelevant. Ask your child, what happened in school today? Did you enjoy school? What did you learn? Were there issues like, did anything come up that you really, and how did your teacher handle? Fine, there's no problem about that. But did your teacher beat you? Did you pay school fees so that your son's teacher or daughter's teacher should be beating them. So don't put ideas into the heads of these children. What they are in school for is what they should be, spoken to about. About. So if there are issues, handle them maturely. These things come up once in a while, yes, but there are ways to handle them. Please don't be an enemy to your child's teacher. You're not doing that child any good. The school can continue to change teachers for your child. It does not help your child one bit. So it is important that you get. That's why I said we're not talking about blaming each other. We are talking about building the child up together. Build that child up together. That is our assignment. That is the teacher's assignment plus the parent's assignment. That's where the collaboration comes in. So on this note, I want to ask you again. I've asked you before. I want to ask you again. Are we working together for the child, or are we unintentionally working against each other? Is it about us? The answer is no, please. It is about that child. It's about Hassan. Whoever Hassan is, it is about that child. Now, I want to call you to action. Call myself to action. Let us begin to collaborate by having one conversation at a time. We share understanding at a time about the child, because when adults, align, the child no longer struggles. And I believe once your child is not struggling again, honestly, you will be the most happiest parent on earth. You don't need anybody to okay that for you, but that is exactly what happens. So when the voices around the child, in this case Hassan, becomes one, Hassan becomes secure, Hassan becomes confident, Hassan becomes a thriving child. This is very important. Please do this for me. Give it a try. And if you actually liked what you have heard in this session, do me a favor. Invite someone. Invite so many, not just one person. Tell them to subscribe, like, and share. Please do this so we can, build a community of, parents, teachers who care about, raising a whole child. Be one of them. Thank you. And this brings us to the end of today's session. I'll see you in the next video.